Welcome back to the Fast Performance Baseball Podcast. I'm your co-host, Cole Thomas, with my co-host,
Connor Reynolds.
and we are welcoming a very special guest, Mr. Grant Richardson of the New York Yankees, or a prospect for the New York Yankees, who's been training with us this offseason. I'll let you kind of explain, or let the listeners give you the introduction to yourself.
All right.
I know Grant's got to talk about himself. He fucking hates this.
And then I'll do the real introduction here.
There we go. I mean, this conversation will probably be primarily between Connor and Grant because they're the hitting guys and I'm the pitching guy. So everything's going to be over my head.
You, though, so
That's true.
it's not only me.
Anyway, so tell us about yourself, Grant.
Born in Indiana, born and raised.
Hell yeah.
Grew up there.
Go Hoosiers.
Absolutely. Ended up going to IU to play baseball.
Yeah.
Played really well. Ended up getting drafted out of IU my junior year. And then just kind of, last year was my first full season. Got moved up to high halfway through the season, so that was pretty cool. It was a cool experience.
Yeah.
I think going from Tampa, where it's 95 and muggy every single game, to 75 and overcast in New York. So
Nice.
But no, it's been a fun ride, I think.
Because you were just with what level were you at this year? You were with the high A affiliate, correct?
Yeah, so I finished in high A.
Finished in high A, yeah.
Started off in low A. So no, it's all been a really cool experience. I feel like with baseball, you get to meet so many different people, like from different countries, from not even just that, but like college, like.
Make sure the logo right there on the mic's facing towards you. There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Heyo.
Just making sure.
No, you're good.
First time on radio.
Yeah. But no, like you meet some of the people that are going to stay in your life for a while. So I think baseball, just going to college, meeting everybody. Those are some of my brothers for life. And then going to minor leagues where I have no idea how to speak Spanish. So that's a little curveball, but I think, once you kind of just get settled in, get to meet everybody, it's an awesome experience. And, it's something I've been wanting to do since I was little. But
right. When you came in this off season, what brought you, I guess, into fast? Because I knew you moved out with your girlfriend here because she took a job as a nurse, correct?
Yeah, over at the children's hospital.
Nice. So you just kind of like, okay, I'll just go with Bailey, see what she's got going on.
But no, she told me she was moving out here and wanted me to come with. So I was just like, okay, like, because I had my hitting facility back home, like all that good stuff. So I was just like looking for a place to come out here and ended up finding the Fast Performance. And I was just like, okay, like let me shoot Jason a call, see if I can come in, work out, do all this stuff in the off season. And from day one, you guys have been open arms. Like I have had no issues coming in anytime. Like it's been awesome.
Right. What were your initial goals? I guess coming into the off season, what was your strategy? What were like some weaknesses you were going to try to attack this off season?
Honestly, just being more efficient. Hitting wise.
This level, we can let Connor, you guys go into a little more depth with.
I think the biggest thing was, honestly, having the hit tracks here, because at home it's just like my dad was pitching to me. And after a while, it's just kind of like there, like you can ambush everything. But like with the machine hitting wise, we're able to accomplish a lot more, especially with hit tracks, being able to see where I'm at, the replay and everything. It's been money because like I've been able to take a swing and say it's like a really bad swing.
Right.
Fucking terrible. And I look back and I was like, oh, okay. Like I see what I'm doing. So it helps with the instant feedback of, all right, this is what I need to work on, do all this stuff. But I think just kind of working with Connor hasn't been overbearing or anything because he knows where I'm at because I'm not like, a high schooler or a younger kid who needs instruction every single swing. It's more so like we work together more so. Like I know what my swing feels like. I know what I'm doing wrong. But there are days that I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Like,
I will say from personal like viewing, like there are some days where you're more likely to snap a bat over your knee than break it with the ball.
Yeah, and I seem to break them.
You break a lot
every time.
You've got a good collection of just firewood.
Pisses me off. But,
So Connor, what were things that like? I mean, I know because Grant didn't really come in initially to just like come work with you, but like as you kind of started getting a rapport together, what were things that like you noticed that he's way better at now than when he first started this offseason?
Biggest thing I would say is, like you said, he has an idea for his swing. Obviously, he's made it a living, being able to be a professional hitter and stuff like that. So, really good idea of his swing, really good idea of what he was needing. But then seeing it like in that replay and then going over like blast motion numbers and like we could take a swing and then we have the data. What does that mean? Now, obviously, it's not the end all be all with the data, but being able to pair that up and start understanding like why did that happen on that swing? What are we able to do to adjust it so that way we're able to make that adjustment in the future? And so personally, I think that's been a kind of big one of connecting the real and the feel. Like you had mentioned, previous facility back home, just pops kind of thrown, and it's absolutely awesome to be able to do that. But then when something's going wrong and you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's wrong. So being able to look back at the video, the biggest thing that we were looking at mostly, I think this offseason is point of contact and just being able to like click one button for it to pop up and we can look at what's our average exit velocity at this point of contact. What's our average exit velocity on this point of contact? What's our launch angle from this point of contact? Like, what does the ball do when we're making contact at different positions, and then being able to blend that together so that way we can make a plan and then move forward with those adjustments. So that way it's more consistent rather than just, one off, one in.
So what were like the big, again, I let you guys kind of bounce off ideas of it. Like what were the biggest adjustments that kind of came with, okay, I never thought about like hitting, like, I've always been this style of hitter for you growing up. And then you come into a facility or, we're like even in the Yankees organization, like what did the Yankees teach you? I mean, they're a little more of a technically sound organization than some teams I won't mention. But like, what's like feedback that you get from in the minor leagues here that as opposed to, in a facility or, I mean, and I imagine like the Yankees are giving you like the top of the line information about everything about you. I mean, they probably know more about you than you know about you.
Yeah. No, I mean, going from college to, the minors, Yankees, everything like that, it's a big change from a statistical and like analytics standpoint. Cause I mean, a lot of baseball now is analytics, which is not always a good thing, but I mean, it is what it is. It's just kind of what it's turning into now. But, when I first got there, my attack angle was really bad. Like it was in the negatives almost every swing, but I was hitting line drive. So their biggest thing for me was to get my attack angle up to be able to lift the ball. And a lot of their philosophy is just line drives over the second baseman, shortstop, and being able to turn on a ball and pull it, pull side high, everything like that. I mean, they're big on the exit velo and everything like that, which works in with me because I mean, I hit the ball hard and everything like that. But, I think a big thing that me and Connor worked on was rotational acceleration because when I first came in, my rotational I've never heard of it. Like never worked with it, never did anything about it, just kind of went in and hit.
Yeah.
And we kind of started focusing on it a little bit more, which I mean, I think benefits me because it helps me really get an understanding of how I'm using my hips rather than just my arms because, you can hit a ball hard just by using your arms, but you're not going to be as efficient and consistent as being able to use your hips every single time. So I think once we kind of got like an understanding of, being able to use my hips and get that feel, I think that kind of translates, everything up. I mean, same with throwing and same with everything else is like, you're not going to do anything without your lower half. So I think if you think about hitting and using your lower half to then turn your upper half rather than trying to turn all together, it's just going to help you going forward. So
right, it's like what we talked about, like when we've been doing some work on the throwing side, where and I imagine this goes the same with the hitting side, where like the hips maybe are not the sole driver of all the rotational, or like they're a big driver of it, but like for us, like velocity does not solely come from hip rotation, right? But you can't do anything if your hips don't go, right?
Yep.
Doesn't make a like you could be the fastest upper, like your torso can be really super quick in rotational acceleration, but if the hips don't do anything, it doesn't mean anything, right? And that's what we've been working on, one on the hitting side and with the throwing side with you, is like you have a tendency to be you've noted this, is you're very locked in hips, and your torso are actually kind of glued together. We've talked about, and you're way better at it. So I'm like, and I even say, like, Jason and I all the time will like watch you do pull downs, like, you're still throwing down 95, 96 with glued ass hips. It's just like, how the hell does he do that?
And,
But that shit goes just like, sometimes they're just guys who you can compensate for that your hips and your shoulders or your torso are glued together, but you find a way around it, and you hit fucking BBs from the bat. And you throw BBs with your arm, even though you've never really thought about yourself as a thrower coming into this. And you're just like, it's one of the, like you said, there's just guys who are just built different. More than anything. You're a guy that we walk in, we get our high school guys, I'm like, dreamed looking like that guy. Look like him. Like, he's the guy to emulate right there.
And just better mobility.
A lot more better mobility. Yeah.
Really quick, just for some of the people that might be listening and they're like, what? How does dude get drafted with an average, like, negative attack angle? This is the introduction I mentioned earlier. So Grant Richardson, freshman.
So we're going back to the IU.
Yep. Collegiate baseball freshman, All-American, All Big Ten freshman team. Sophomore year, third team All-American by Collegiate Baseball 2020, perfect game honor roll, and impact sophomore by perfect game. And then he also was first team All Big Ten, second team ABCA Midwest All Region, first team preseason All-American, and first team preseason All-American by perfect game in Collegiate Baseball, and third team preseason All-American by D1 baseball. So pretty good fucking resume right there.
Yeah.
Pretty good resume. Drafted in the 17th round by the Yankees in 2021, and that's kind of where we're at right now. If I recall, you're also top 5 in the Yankees for average exit velocity. Are we close?
Something like that.
Something around there, yeah. So for anyone wondering, he's really good. So even with a negative attack angle, still put up some good numbies.
It's gotten better though.
Something I'm
Way
interested.
better.
I'm interested. Like, what's the the difference between pro ball versus college baseball? I think that's something like our listeners will be very interested in. And you're coming from the Big Ten, which is not a notable baseball. It's a Power 5 conference, but it's not known for its baseball. It is a football basketball conference through and through.
Yeah.
We've been watching some games, and you watch the teams from your conference go down south, and they just get. And I give them credit; they've been inside this all goddamn winter, and then they go down to play GC Grand Canyon, who it's out all day, every day. Never a problem. But there becomes that there's a different level. You're playing guys from the SEC, you're playing guys from the Pac-12 or the Big 12 or all those more baseball centric conferences. What's that shift like between playing in the conference you got used to? I'm used to Big Ten pitching towards I'm used to now high A, low A, just professional pitching.
Yeah.
What's the adjustment there?
Honestly, not that big of adjustment.
Okay.
If you think about it, there's going to be guys in the Big Ten that aren't throwing 95, but you also have your Friday night starters, your closers, your everything like that. So it's like you'll still have those few.
You're going to get guys. You're going to
get those few dark horses in that conference. And same goes for SEC. You can face a guy throwing 90, but he just knows how to pitch.
Yeah.
So it's not so much the velocity of each program; it's how they pitch, how efficient they are, everything like that. So you can throw 88, dot up, and you'll be awesome.
Yeah.
And you can throw 98, not throw a strike, and you're just out there, just left
being
for dead.
A thrower,
right?
Yeah. I would know about that.
Yeah, I know about that.
No, it's that I honestly think the biggest difference between SEC and like Big Ten or SEC and ACC and everything like that is just the hitting. The hitting is a little bit better. Pitching a little bit better, which it's not the biggest change. I think the biggest change from college ball to minor ball is playing every single day. Because there's a point in time like college, you play 4 games a week, and Monday, Tuesday you have to workout, practice, everything like that. Wednesday's usually a midweek game, so you get to face a guy in the middle of the week, and then Thursday travel day or a lift day or whatever. Right. Friday you get there, you play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's just that every single time. But in the minors, it's you're there every single day except for like Monday.
Yeah,
and Monday's usually a travel day.
Yeah, you're gonna play a 7:00 game. You're at the ballpark at like 12:30.
Yeah, the biggest change is just how you take care of your body.
Yeah,
it's not even the level of competition, because I mean, going from college to low A, high A, double A, triple A, the pitching's all the same. Mm-hmm. But the higher that you go, the better the pitchers are at locating and being able to execute pitches and know hitters' weaknesses and everything like that. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just like in the minors, you got to study your shit. Mm-hmm. You got to know what the guy has. You got to know the entire rotation, who they're going to bring in. And I mean, it also helps because we have that stuff in the dugout too. So it's like we're able to look at their tendencies of fastball, curveball, discount. What do they primarily throw? How many strikes, balls are they looking for? Chase pitch, strike pitch, everything like that. So it's like you have a guy that's in a 2-1 count. He's like 75% slider.
Right.
So you're going to go up there.
He's like, I know.
Like if you're in a 2-1 count, you're just like, okay, like it's a higher possibility that I get a slider than a fastball. So it kind of helps with your mindset throughout the entire at bat, instead of, you're just like, okay, I got to get a fastball here. You miss the fastball and it's like, well, I'm fucked. I think just going in and having an understanding of how the pitcher pitches, how he pitches to right-handed, left-handed tendencies, everything like that, you have a better idea going in of kind of how much his ball is going to move, his fastball, if it rides, if it runs, everything like that. So I think preparation-wise, like professional baseball is 10 times better than college.
Right. Because there's just not much guessing, and they kind of give you the process. What is your, so if like for hitter, I mean, this is more on the hitting side, but it's like, what is your, and it's something we try to harp on especially like our high school listeners who will listen to this, about like process and, having an attention to detail with everything that they do. Mm-hmm. Like when you get into the box, what is your process? Like, your, whatever the situation may be, like, how do you, we're going back, what's that movie with Kevin Costner? Love of the Games. Like, what's your clearing the mechanism type of thing that gets you into the zone? Like, I'm ready to hit. I know what I'm looking for. What is like an average approach for you? Just whatever the manager tells you.
Honestly, I try to go in with the blankest mind you can possibly have, because the more you think, the more you suck.
Right.
And I know this because my cage work, I think so fucking much. And if I just like, there are times that I'm just like, I'm hitting and I look at Connor and I'm like, all right, I'm fucking tired of hitting like shit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hit. Like that's the biggest thing, is just like the time to prepare is in practice, pre-work, everything like that. Off season, you're working on all this shit mechanically to make yourself sound for when you get to the season. Because when you get to the season, you can't think when you're in the box.
Yeah.
Because the more you think, like I said, the more you're going to suck.
Yeah.
If you go in, trust all the work that you just put in throughout the entire offseason, practice, everything like that, and you go into the box and you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna hit.
Right.
Because that's why, I mean, fucking I do this for a living. Like, there's no reason I need to think about the last pitch or the next pitch. It's like, I'm here right now. Like, if he gives it to me, I'm going to take it. If he doesn't give it to me, hopefully I take it. But I think that's the biggest thing, is just like really trusting everything that you've done to get to that point. Mm-hmm. I mean, even high school wise, like, they're inside working out, hitting, everything like that. But when it comes to game time, you can't think about everything.
Right.
You just got to go and do it.
Yeah, it reminds me. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and they had a professional golfer on, and it's the exact same thing you said there, where he was having struggles with his putting, like his
Mhm.
putting consistency, and he sent the videos to his putting coach, and he literally goes like, "Hey, what can you see? What can I be better at?" And all the coach told him was, "Those look like some swings that are going to sink some putts. Now go fucking putt."
Yeah,
It's just
exactly. It's just like we can go over video of all my swings, everything like that.
and what you
we
do,
can,
what you definitely do.
yeah, and we can nitpick and everything like that. But at the end of the day, like it's the smallest sliver of time that can make your swing bad.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're not on time, no matter how good your swing is, you're not going to be good.
Right.
Like if you're on time, you can make adjustments and be able to be adjustable in the box. Because if you're on time, and that's another thing that me and you worked on, is just like starting a little bit earlier to give myself more time to recognize the pitch, be able to go from there. And honestly, I think that's where I've kind of been struggling the past couple of days, was just like I'm starting, I feel good, but I'm just late. So that's why I'm missing everything. Not everything, but like a lot of them is
You're
just
not on time. That's
yeah,
right.
and it's just like I think having the focus of, you know, I'll go back to this. So hitting wise, I think the best focus that you could possibly have is live in the opposite gap, because that's going to make you adjustable to taking the ball the other way, but you also have that high finish out in front, where it's like if you are fooled by a pitch, but you still catch it out in front because you're living the other way, you'll still have success of taking the ball the other, like pulling the ball, but you're not meaning to.
Right.
Because the more that you try and pull a ball, the more susceptible you are to outside pitches, off speed, because you're going to be so early on everything. I think that's kind of where, last year I struggled, in the minors, is just because like I was trying to catch everything out in front. I was trying to just get to the ball instead of letting it come to me and me making the adjustments. So I think that's something that, me and Connor really worked on, is being able to be late, but still hit line drives the other way.
Right. It's giving yourself like a margin of error for sure.
Yeah. Because a lot of the time, like you said, we bring up the point of contact, and it's like, I'll hit a ball 95, pull it, and I'm way out in front. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to just try and get it deeper.
Right.
And then I'll foul it off like straight to the side. I'm like, all right, well, happy medium now. So it's like, now I'm not super far out front. And now I don't want to be super late. It's more so I'm just trying to get the ball middle to the front of the plate, just kind of working the other way, let my body do the work and everything like that. So,
right. You got any questions at all, Connor? Because I got a few, but I want to see if we can get Connor a little bit involved here.
If you'd be able to kind of go a little bit into the process of what we've done where you're outside of the facility, like the ability to go back, rewatch video, look at notes, different things like that. What has been just the training process for you and what we have here to be available? Do you feel like that's helped in the process, being able to send video to your Yankees guy?
Yeah.
I think you said that your dad's watched a couple of them, kind of trying to get back into the season feel and stuff like that. So if you could go into a little bit like what we do, what we have to offer. So if there's any other professional hitters out there looking for a guy in Denver, hit me up. But what was your experience like here training and going through that?
No, I think it's been perfect. I mean, the fact that, we record each session that we do, and if we upload it, we upload it. If we don't, then it's a shitty day. But I think the biggest thing is, being able to go back over that, look at the notes that we took, look at all the averages, how I felt that day, what I think was feeling good, what I needed to, really feel out. But I think another like good thing is like, my dad, my Yankees guy, everything like that, they wanted to watch it, but like at the same time, I'm able to go back after, say, a bad day. I can go back and look at a session where, I did really well, like see what I was doing, being able to analyze myself and look at my swing and then just kind of go from there. So I think that's been really good. And then the notes that we take is just kind of like, session by session, what I did better, worse, stayed the same, how I felt, everything like that. I think it's been, you know, money to be able to look back at, you know, the days that I did really good and the days that I did really bad and just kind of see what wasn't working, what was working, and then just kind of go forward from there. So I think, you know, just doing all of that's just been a really big help of understanding myself and my swing, even though, like I said, I have a good understanding of my swing, but, you know, there's always room for improvement. So it's being able to look back and really focus on all of that has been a big help for me.
And then one of the other big things, like, I mean, we haven't necessarily made massive changes or anything like that. Has been a lot of, all right, let's do better of what we already do well with,
Yeah.
and how can we raise the floor of what we're not the greatest with, right? And so when you're going through, the biggest thing that I think we kind of changed, and it was something that we did at the very beginning, when you originally came in, your warm-up was 45 closed, 45 open, then straight up. With you needing to work on a little bit more of a less negative attack angle, we actually got rid of the 45 closed. And so talking through and working that process, how was that when we are looking to make like little tiny adjustments, like that conversation piece that we had about why I think, you know, I thought 45 closed was almost kind of hammering in the things that we're trying to get rid of. So for you, how was that process? How was that work relationship that we had from the beginning? And then also, I mean, you're leaving here in like 4 or 5 days. So what was that relationship like? How was it with us making adjustments and changes and different things like that?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, from the first day, like we both kind of had a good understanding of what we were trying to get from each other, where it's like I could go anywhere and say the guy wants to change my swing, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to change my swing. So we're butting heads from day one. But it's like the biggest thing was like you were like, hey, I have my 2 cents if you ever need it, but I'm gonna let you do you. So I think that was like one of the biggest things that was a big like, okay, like I know what I can do, what I need, everything like that. And if I do need help, I can come to you and just be like, hey, like, what do you see? Because I'm not feeling, you know, the greatest. Like, just kind of give me your 2 cents, see what kind of goes from there. So I think, you know, our work relationship where it comes to working together has been almost just like feeding off of each other's thoughts, where it's like, I'll tell you how I feel, and that's that. And then if I have no idea what I'm feeling, then I can come to you and be like, hey, what are you seeing? Stuff like that. So I think just from, you know, changing up my routine and everything like that, I mean, once we kind of talked about it, I understood where you were coming from. I felt it. We just went straight to 45 open, hammering, working the other way, everything like that, instead of trying to catch the ball out in front and pull everything. So I think, you know, like I said, us working together has just been really smooth and easy. Like there's no complications or anything like that. So
Boom. And we'll let Cole get in his questions. The biggest thing that I've noticed in working with professional guy to then, you know, high school guys, college guys and stuff like that, like the replay of you just being able, you'll go through, and I mean, I'm not jumping up every time, like you said, like we're not talking it through every single swing, stopping everything that we do and stuff like that. But the biggest thing that I've really been able to enjoy being able to work with you is literally just having you go through maybe a couple, maybe not the greatest swings or results or whatever it is. You'll turn around and I'll just sit there next to the machine, pet Strider a few times, and you'll just stare at the TV and you'll look at me and you go, I've got it. And then literally like right away, it's just like boom, 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 fixed.
Yeah.
And that's been the biggest thing for me that I've kind of been able to kind of see and notice and stuff like that, is like you have such a great awareness of your body and your swing and what you need to do. And that, I mean, there hasn't been many times where it's been like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Like it's happened a couple times, but it's not like as frequent as other athletes I've worked with is. And so just your ability to just like look at it, make that adjustment, and then stick to it. I mean, that's been for me an absolute pleasure to be able to watch. And so it's been a lot of fun having you in here.
yes, sir.
Well, that's one of those things I noticed about, like, I mean, you talk to Jason at all, or you talk to other pro guys that have been here, like Peter, or we talked to Seth or Travis, one of our other pro guys that was here, is that understand, and that's partially why you're at the level you're at, is understanding who you are as a player, understanding your body. Like, how many high schoolers do we come in, or even college guys for that matter, just have no idea what makes them operate, how they operate, how that whole mechanism goes. And that's where we've talked about in the past on other podcasts, where like you've got to take kind of advantage of your own career and, be your own person. Like at some point, like, us as coaches, we can't jump into Grant's body and fix it for him. You've got to figure out that way to do that.
Yeah.
Building on that, so like, obviously we're probably, our demographics probably more in that high school, college range. What's like advice that you would give to a high school player? You've been you're a Division I baseball player. You're
gotta
a
put
draft
on weight.
pick. Yep.
Oh, baby!
Let that be noted on the YouTube.
I don't know, man.
Well,
I don't
I'm
know.
just saying.
I
But
think
like biggest advice beyond just the gaining weight obviously is one thing, but
nah, you need to be 110 pounds. That's how you make it in this world.
Well, so I will say one thing that has been the biggest change about me and my game and everything like that was like going into freshman year of college, I weighed 170. Like
respectable,
which is fine, but like at the same time, it's like, you're 170, you're supposed to be an outfielder, everything like that. So I mean, like, you're supposed to hit the ball hard, everything like that, but like your body's just not going to work as efficient if you don't have the weight to back it up.
Right.
So it's like, but you also don't want to put on bad weight. So it's not like I'm saying go put on weight by eating 5 Big Macs or anything like that. It's like get in the weight room, do all this stuff. Because my freshman fall, I put on 25 pounds in that 4 months that I was there. Because like in high school, I really never lifted. Like, and if I did, it was for basketball.
Right.
Like baseball was more so, it was just like, okay, here, come into the weight room, do whatever you need to do, and then we'll be done. And it's just kind of like, I feel like that's one thing that high school players need is like a scheduled lift and really focusing on what they're doing. Cause like,
preach, brother.
Well, cause like you're in high school and it's just like, here, go into the weight room, do whatever you need to do, and just kind of go from there. But like you're in high school, like I would say probably select couple know exactly what they're doing in the weight room and everything like that. So it's just like, you can tell a kid, hey, go get bigger.
Yeah.
But what is he going to do with that information? Because he doesn't know exactly what to do. And I mean, you can, it's like you look on like Instagram or TikTok or whatever platform, Twitter, stuff like that. And you see like guys are ripping out sets of this and that. And people are seeing it like, oh, I need to do that.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's what getting big looks like.
But it's like, it's so crazy that like they don't have an awareness of sports specific lifts. Because like I could go down there and just get as big as possible, but that's not going to benefit me because I'm going to lose mobility. I'm going to lose not strength, but like flexibility,
like explosiveness.
Yeah, explosiveness, flexibility, mobility, everything like that. Because I'm training all the muscles that I don't need to train.
Right.
Whereas I know what I need to train, how I need to do it, how efficiently I need to do it. I don't need to overbear myself with heavy weights, everything like that. It's almost like, if you find a weight you can do 10 reps of.
Right.
Then what are you going to do next week?
Yeah.
A little bit more. And it's just like it all adds on top of each other instead of showing up and you're just like, all right, I need to lift as heavy as possible right now.
Right.
Because it's just not going to work.
How long did that process take you to be able to figure out? Like, I'm assuming you weren't able to like walk straight up as a freshman and just like, oh, okay, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing, and boom, 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 boom. What was there like a process? Like, did you immediately like lift up one weight and gain 5 pounds? Like, what was
No,
that
I was
like?
a bitch. Straight up. Like my freshman year in like one of our first lifts, my roommate or my previous roommate, Cole Barr, who's with the Mariners, and his buddy Sam Crail, I kind of just like gravitated towards them because I mean they're fucking massive.
Right.
Like they love to lift everything like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hop in with these guys. I could not do a single fucking rep of what they were doing, and it was like that was like the first thing that I noticed when I got there was like, God damn, I'm fucking weak.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing is like if you surround yourself with people who are going for the same thing, that's the biggest goal. Because like, and I will say, it's hard to lift by yourself.
Yeah.
Because you have nobody else there to push you, motivate you, doing all of this stuff. So I mean, like, you know, going from that to now, where it's like, you know, I'll work out here, and it's like I'll still try and push myself, but at times it's just like I don't feel like I'm getting as much as I need to because I don't have, you know, the guys around me, or I'm lifting like with 3-4 other guys where it's like we're all doing the same lift, so we're all able to rotate and push each other and do all that, which is not me sitting here bashing you guys at all, because there's nothing to bash about. It's more so the ability to surround yourself with people who have the same goal, same strive, same everything,
Right.
in which you're going to get better by trying to outperform them rather than solely trying to outperform yourself.
Iron sharpens iron, baby.
Exactly.
So like, what's like something I've talked to college guys about this in the past, and I was like, what is something like, and you've been obviously a very lucky one to have gotten to where you are, you know, being 170 pounds, like your first day at, where's it? It's Bloomington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I always kind of forget that, but like 170 pounds walking into Bloomington, you found yourself way into pro ball, but it's something like you look back on, like in high school or in college, you're just like, I wish I did that differently. Is it just the strength and conditioning side, or is there something like maybe you felt like you could have put more time and resources into that would have helped furthered you?
I think 90% of it is strength and conditioning, because, you know, going into my freshman year, like outfielder, pitcher, everything like that, wasn't the greatest outfielder.
Right.
I could always make the athletic plays because I'm physically athletic. But, you know, once you put on the weight and strength and everything like that, now it's like, okay, well, now I got to get a better understanding of my body, everything like that. And so my freshman year going in, outfield, everything like that, my coaches literally called me Sputnik in the outfield because I had no idea where the fuck I was going. Whenever a ball was hit, they're like, oh, fuck. But like that's the biggest thing is like, another thing is I had...
May call you Chinese spy balloon now.
But
It's a weather balloon.
But like another big thing, another really big thing about all of that is, like I said, surrounding yourself with people who know what the fuck they're doing. So like outfield, I had a senior and a junior who both were just like, okay, like, let me take you under my wing, everything like that. So I was with them like all the time in the outfield because they were fucking great.
Yeah.
And so I was able to learn from them, feed off of them, and that turned me into one of the best outfielders I could possibly be. And, you know, just being able to really get an understanding of how to track a ball, where to go, how to run, how to field it, how to do literally everything. Like that's the biggest thing is like, you can be a good outfielder and not know what you're doing. And you can be a really fucking good outfielder and know exactly what you're doing. And there's a big difference between the two. And that's going to show not only in college or high school, but it's really going to show in pro ball.
Right.
Because they are using every single little detail to look over what you're good at and what you're bad at.
Yeah.
So it's like one thing that I need to work on is going back and left
Right.
or going back and right because I'm really good coming in, and they have every single like down to the minute second
Yeah.
of my reaction time in to my reaction time back, acceleration, everything like that. So it's like, all right, well, I know what I'm good at. How can I increase
Right. How can I
going
improve where I s-
back?
Yeah.
Or even how can they have you ever seen the thing about the Phillies, how they
I was
made
just thinking with Castellanos. I was just thinking about that as you brought that
how
up.
they literally moved him into right center gap
Yeah,
because he was better going in and
to his
left.
to his left, and then he could be protected by the center fielder where he struggled the most.
Exactly. So it's like if you think about it,
Like they know so much shit about you. It's crazy.
yeah, like
My other question would be with the lifting.
Yeah.
Did you notice an increase in speed, exit velo? Like,
yes,
did you notice just like
Yes.
every part of your
Everything.
game getting better?
everything.
So I'm just
Speed. Okay, speed wise, I was fast. Speed wise, now I'm a lot faster.
okay.
So it's like
check that.
So it's like if you think about it, you can be fast and be skinny.
Yeah.
You don't see massive track runners, right? Sometimes
Depending
they got
depending on the
big
event,
legs, but like you don't see them
depending
like
on the event. Yeah.
You don't see them like swolled up or anything like
Well,
that.
but it's like that's what I tell guys all the time is how many times do we get a guy who like, oh, my coach made me go run 5 poles at or we did 20-minute runs and shit like that. I'm like, but that's not conducive to the sport.
No.
Right. We want like for an example of another sport, we want guys to look like 100-meter dash runners. Built, they're fairly jacked, but like they're not too big, but they're explosive.
I'll take it
fast.
back. Not track runners, cross country.
Yes, there we go. That's a little more.
That's on me.
Basically just distance runners as a whole.
Distance
right?
runners just like you.
The sprint,
it's
like,
just
but like
not
the
baseball.
sprinters or the javelin throwers, anything like what's explosive movement, like that's who you've got to look like. You don't see many. Yeah, cross country runners don't play baseball anymore.
No.
There's not. We're past that time.
And like, that's the biggest thing is like, you can look at a cross country runner and be like, oh, you're small, but they're really fucking good at what they do.
They're very good at what they do.
I can't just run out and go do a cross country meet and be completely fine because I'm not conditioned for it.
Right.
Whereas in baseball, it's like you need some conditioning, but you don't need to overdo it.
Right.
Where it's like you can go and do 10, 25-yard sprints, and that'd be just as good as doing 25 pulls because I think pulls are fucking stupid.
It probably they're better for you probably in the end because like you're developing those fast twitch explosive muscles.
Like you being more explosive rather than trying to increase your longevity.
Right.
Not longevity, but like
your endurance. Yeah.
So it's just like if you work on the fast twitch 25-yard sprint, because if you think about it, baseball outfield, I don't know how far the longest you're really going to run.
Right.
Maybe 50 yards. If that, not even that.
Because it's 360 all the way around the bases if you're doing a full and that's all still in a circle, essentially, not the straight line.
Yeah.
So that's why like doing 60s, like why? Like you don't run 60 yards in a straight line. You don't do this in a straight line. You don't. Is like something I get constantly I find myself doing a lot is telling guys like train for the sport you play, not just being a generalist, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want, like I've got so many kids like they get into the weight room and I'm like, awesome, dude, I'm so happy for you.
But they don't know what they're doing.
But they don't know what they're doing, or they're like you're saying, it's like how often do you go to the weight room? Like 6 days a week. Like, no, no, you don't need to be doing that.
Yeah,
it's like what do you do? He's like, well, I had a kid one time. He's like, what's your lifting look like? He's like, well, I did bench, I did 3 sets of 15, I did this for 3 sets of 15, I did bicep curls. I'm like, what are you training to do? Like, are you trained to be a baseball player? Are you trained for Mr. Olympia?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. But like, a lot of the times when I lift, it's like I know what I'm doing that day. I know what I'm doing throughout the week. Where it's like a lot of the times my first day of the week is full body. So it's like push and pull my legs, push and pull my arms. And then the next day will be upper body.
Right.
Next day will be lower body. And then, just kind of going from there. So a lot of the time it's just knowing what you're doing, your focus, everything like that. And like you said, having an idea of what specific lift you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and how you're going to execute it, rather than I'm going to go in and bench 315 for 5.
Having never done it.
Having never done it, fail, and be like, oh, damn it, I should just never lift again. It's just like, so social media has caused such a big problem when it comes to the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
Such a misunderstanding.
Well, because I mean, like, you're expected, if you go to the weight room or, you know, a public gym or anything like that, you're expected to lift this weight or you'll be seen as inferior.
Well, but it's only you see is like you see the bodybuilders and you see the Instagram models with those Brazilian butt lifts. They don't actually deserve those glutes that they got. They didn't actually lift for those, but
but that's what I'm saying.
But that's that expectation.
That's what I'm saying. There's a certain expectation that's been put on for whatever reason, where it's like, you know, like I said, I went in freshman year and I'm like, I'm a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like one of those, I'm a bitch, like I'm not going to do this, like stuff like that. It's like, all right, well, I know where I'm at now. Where can I get to? How can I get there without cutting corners or doing any of this? Like, how can I most efficiently be able to get up to this weight and still be mobile, still gain good weight, still do all this stuff? So it's like, it kind of goes back to what I said, where it's like, if you find a weight that you can do 8 to 10 reps,
right?
And I mean, you can still struggle, but it's like, if your goal is to stay at that weight, you're not doing it right. Because like, I can go and lift and do 225 for 3 sets and be just fine.
Right.
I'm not helping myself.
My one thing that I kind of want to get to is, so obviously you're a good enough player to go play Division I baseball out of high school. Correct me if I'm wrong. You did not redshirt freshman year.
I did not.
You did not. Okay, so
they were thinking about it, but I did not.
Ayo, shout out to the freshman All-American. So the thing that I want to kind of get to is you didn't really lift in high school. Yet we were good enough to still make it to a point where we're going Division I and we're playing and stuff like that. You start lifting. You start hitting the ball harder, yes or no?
Yeah.
Did you start throwing the ball harder?
Yes.
Did you start running faster?
Yes.
Huh.
It's crazy, right?
I know. Like, because I always thought baseball players weren't supposed to lift and all this different stuff. And so it's mind-boggling to me that we have an athlete here that says he wishes he would have started lifting earlier because he then was able to become a little bit more self-aware of your body. You were able to kind of understand where you rank amongst other guys, and being able to say, like you said, you had those 2 other guys that were lifting like crazy. You start trying to lift those and you're like, oh shit, I can't do this. So you kind of like know where you're at in the pecking order. And then you started hitting the ball harder. You started throwing it harder. You started running faster. It's almost like you didn't become content with yourself in college, and that is what has allowed you to become a professional athlete. Yeah. Weird.
I mean, and same goes for even now, where it's like we hit 3-4 times a week.
Wait, you're still trying to get better?
Crazy, right?
Oh,
all right. All right. So we'll let you go on this because I know Bailey is outside the studio and she's got a couple hikes she wants you to go do real desperately now that you got limited time left.
The lazy cross country.
So one thing I wanted to ask, because you've been through it, and since spring training games start today and all the new rules come in, you've been through all the new rules. I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on the new rules being put into MLB this year? So the bigger bases, the pitch clock, the pickoff limits, things like that.
I personally, I like them.
Yeah,
because it speeds up the game in a good way. So it's not like, you know, the whole pitch clock thing. I don't see that as an issue unless you're just one of those guys that takes fucking forever,
right?
Or a pitcher who takes forever, where it's like
you got a whole host of other issues.
Like it basically makes you have to pitch to the person,
right?
And you can't just sit there and try and pick off. Like I don't know. It's a good idea. I don't know about the whole bigger bases. I don't know what that's really doing other than helping catchers.
Is that going to help the catchers, you think, more than?
Yeah, well, the base is bigger,
Right.
and they have to move it in too.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you think about it, if they make the base bigger, the front edge of the base is going to be closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it a little bit more difficult for base runners to steal second or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I just go into Grant's just like I just go into hit bombs. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know the whole reason behind making the bases bigger.
Yeah.
But the pitch clock, I really like the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like straight up auto zone.
Yeah.
Because
that's something, even at me as a pitcher, I'm like, if you go to a robo ump, it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, and the video that went like viral over like the new challenge rule, that was a buddy of yours, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about like your thought process in the box, like going through how many times would you have liked to be able to challenge your first year? Like, is that going to be something that you think is going to slow down the game now that we're checking? Is that going to be something that
no, because I mean, you don't have unlimited challenges. That's the thing. It's like
you've got to be truly I know that was wrong.
You got to be sure. So it's like each team gets 3 challenges, both on offense and defense. So it's like the pitcher and catcher can work together. If they think it's a strike and they challenge it, and they get it wrong, then we lose a challenge. So a lot of the times as a hitter, you don't want to take away those challenges. So really a lot of the time it's like on offense, it's like, okay, well, try to only use one challenge.
Right.
And if we keep it, we keep it. If we don't challenge again. Because like you're just putting your pitcher and catcher at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So I really like it though, because like I really like the aspect of still keeping the human aspect of the game, but being able to make them
like a dire situation where it's like a massive like swing of events or whatever it is. Like, yep,
yeah,
hit it with it.
Yeah, and it's just like I really like that, and yeah, I mean, I think
you think some of the people who kind of complain are a little unjustified, and you don't just wait and see it play out before you really make a judgment on it.
Yeah, because I mean, nobody's really sat there and watched the game unless they really have and they really hated it.
Right.
Then it is what it is. But a lot of people, I feel like, are just jumping to conclusions,
just reacting to the headline.
That it's like, this is ruining the game of baseball. This is terrible. This is terrible for the sport. Whereas then, if you think about it, I love baseball, but holy shit, if you go to a game and sit there for 4 hours, 4.5 hours,
it's just slow.
And it's like a normal time span of a game. Like, it's not like they're taking forever to do everything. That's just how the game works.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you have the pitch clock, it speeds it up a little bit. And I think on average, last year, our game time was around 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 2 hours 30, 2 hours 45.
Yeah, because I think Jeff Passan was saying like last year, like the average game was about 3 hours and 17 minutes in the major leagues last year.
Yeah, and I think the longest that we had last year was like 3 hours, and that was like 11, 12 inning game.
Jeez. So, yeah, I mean, there's some things I'm skeptical about, but I think I'm open-minded to seeing how it works and actually gets put into play.
Right.
So, Connor, do you have anything else?
Big thing I would ask is, you coming back next year?
Yes, sir.
Hey, yo. If there was anything that you might say to anyone that might be intrigued about possibly coming over to FAST, or somebody that might, well, I also know another facility, this or that, like, would you mind giving a little bit of a sales pitch for us on why somebody might want to come here?
The dogs.
Hey.
But no, on a real note, I think, like I said, the biggest thing was first day coming in, met everybody. Nobody was like giving me like side eye, like who the hell is this guy, like stuff like that. And,
I did a little bit.
But like,
who the hell's this kid?
But I just think like your guys' thought process, feeding off each other, not only hitting wise, pitching wise, throwing wise, but like friendship wise, like This shit's so fun. Like it's really fun to be able to come in whenever I need to, or if I need to come in later, I can come in later. If I want to come in early, I'll just shoot one of you guys a text. So it's just like I am not like nobody's on each other's schedule where it's like I have to work around you, you have to work around me. It's just like together we just work together, make sure everything lines up. And I think the facility that you guys have is awesome. The weight room is great, plyo wall, throwing cage, mounds, batting cage, hit tracks, everything. It's like just super easy to access everything that I need to without having to be like, okay, well, these guys don't have this, so I have to go to another facility to go and do this, where it's like I show up, hit, throw, lift, do everything I need to do in a day, and just go from there.
How was working with JC?
Oh, it was fun. It kicked my ass a couple times. There have been times that I had breakfast and I felt like I was going to puke.
JC has been another guest on this podcast. So
Yeah,
if you guys want to go back and listen to what he talked about when we had him on, we'll post it in the description below. One last thing. Do you want to play our baseball reference game?
Sure.
Okay.
So it's like guess.
So what I'll do is we'll just do a hitter and I'll let you guys tag team on this.
Okay. I suck at him.
Yeah, he's not very good. I don't know if you've listened. He's not very good.
Dude, it takes me like 30 fucking guesses. It's not good.
I'm a legend. Last week kind of struggled. I struggled, but
I was quick last week.
All right. So what we do like in a 20 questions kind of sort of format. Okay. So you guys can ask. I'll let you guys tag team on this, so you guys figure this out together.
Okay.
Okay. Go for it.
Give me what years did he play?
He played from 1982 to 1995.
Oh, you asshole, bro! Every fucking time.
Is he very well known?
Yes. Very well known.
Okay, that's two.
How many teams did he play on?
He played on one team his entire career.
Oh.
What position is he?
He is a first baseman, I think. Maybe I double check this. Yeah, first base and outfield, but primarily first base.
Let's see here. Well, lefty or righty hitter?
He was a left-handed hitter and a left-handed thrower.
Going back, how many years did he play?
He played from 1982 to 1995, so 14 years. I won't count that one since it's a rehash of an old question.
I thought you said 1984 to 89.
82 to 95.
Okay,
Sorry.
I was like, this dude played for
He played reverse years.
6 years. Okay.
Any awards?
Oh yes, a lot of awards. He's a one-time MVP, 6-time All-Star, 9-time Gold Glover, 3-time Silver Slugger, won a batting title, and won a Major League Player of the Year award. And if you want, he also won a Manager of the Year.
Is it Don Mattingly?
It is Indiana's own Don Mattingly.
Good shit, dog.
Yes, sir.
It was
Awesome.
a tag team.
Grant, we really appreciate you coming on here. It was
Yes,
a lot of
sir.
fun.
I
It was
helped
a
you
lot.
out.
It was
My
a
guy.
fun conversation. You're a fun guy to talk to, good guy to bounce ideas off of. So
Yes,
we
sir.
really appreciate you.
Yes, sir. No, I appreciate you guys. I kind of want to play one more.
One more?
Yeah.
You
All right.
you two want to tag team?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I ask him pitchers. So
Shit.
let's see,
Okay.
let's see how this goes. All right, first question is what we got.
What years did he play?
Played 07 to 16.
So usually sometimes I get it right here.
It's so fucking annoying, dude. So fucking annoying.
07 to 16?
Is he a reliever?
Let's see here. How many?
Yeah, starter or reliever?
He started 68 games over 10 years, but the rest was out of the pen.
Okay. What teams did he play for?
He played for Colorado, Toronto, Boston, and Kansas City.
Oh, that's Mr. Frankie Morales, who is
Yes, it
downstairs
is.
right now.
Yep, one of our other pro guys in the facility. Franklin Morales.
Frankie Morales, what Rocky's legend.
God bless. Two
Awesome.
World Series.
So yeah, like I said, where can the good people find you, Grant, on social media or anything like that? I know you went through a whole little thing about how social media is the devil.
No, I don't think social media is the devil. I think the idea of
Getting your expectations from social media.
expectations are.
How do you not know your own ads?
I don't give out my Instagram every single day.
It's like Grant R underscore 24.
No, Grant
One.
R _1.
There we go.
Grant R _1.
Yeah.
So that's where you guys can find him. Grant, we really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys.
Perfect. Awesome.
Cool.